definitely with money and success and business, it will definitely germinate and start to help you feel better. And if people are listening that are worried or that are having challenges around money, it will definitely immediately help them feel better.
So the problem lies within us, and the answer lies within us.
It really does. And, you know, I have to say, though, Eric, I think many of us hear that and we understand it logically.
Mm-hmm.
But I know for me, until I worked with somebody that, you know, could take me in and out of these processes and say the right words at the right time for me and shift my internal pictures and feelings and perceptions, it was profound. And I've been fortunate enough to do that for, you know, many, many of my own clients. And it really is a process. And I tell people that don't expect, you know, I mean, one session will blow your mind. And, you know, the CD, of course, I make CDs for people. It's extremely powerful. But it is a process. We've been hardwired to think and feel and respond the way we have in our business and in our lives for our entire life.
Right. 95% of our brain, right? Or 90%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's kind of like we have to undo what we did, right? And so it's a practice. It's like going to the gym. You don't go to the gym one time for an hour and come out and your body's, you know, perfect. And, you know, it's the same thing with the mind muscle. You've got to go within. You've got to seek questions. You've got to feel those deep, dark, scary things that most of us don't want to feel, because the minute we do and we resolve them, we're free.
Yeah, but people are impatient. I mean, that's why most people start exercise programs and quit after a few months, because they're not seeing the results fast enough, right? And they go to a seminar like yours or maybe a session, and they come in with the expectation they're going to leave thinking differently and therefore getting different results right away. You know, how do you deal with that?
Well, that's why I have CDs, because through the repetition and through bringing them in and out of state every day, I do the work for them. They don't have to try to do it on their own. But that's why the power of, you know, listening to the CDs and having them come in and do the work with me, and then I record it all. I don't, you know, they feel amazing when they leave. I wouldn't even have to hand them a CD, because the change has already been done. Once it's done in the subconscious, it's done. But the importance of repetition and going into those states and starting to experience yourself at those levels will produce absolutely phenomenal, extraordinary results for people. It's powerful stuff.
So listening to the CDs, that's part of the hypnotherapy?
Yes, it is. All the CDs are hypnosis and NLP. Mm-hmm.
So then, again, define hypnotherapy again. I mean, so is it, I mean, because I guess there may be some out there that have this idea that they'll be put to sleep. Or,
well, they will.
Okay, they will.
They will. They'll go into
So don't listen to it while you're driving then, right?
No, all my stuff says that all over it. Do not listen to it while you're driving. And so here's thank you for asking that question, because here's the difference in what I do. I consciously and logically teach people about their mind, kind of like we're doing right now. The second part of that is once you have a conscious understanding to your belief systems, okay? So, for instance, if it's, you know, selling and you want to make so much more money and you're only making this amount of money, most people are conditioned and trained to set their goals and put their intentions and go, I want to sell 3 houses to make da-da-da-da-da. Okay, I don't do any of that. What I do is I ask them, you know, what would it feel like for you? Where are you right now? Where do you want to be? I get them in touch with, not in their head, not the logic of the numbers, but what would it be like for them to have that financial freedom? And honestly, a lot of people that don't have the money, they don't even know. They don't know what it would feel like, because they've identified with struggle and stress for so long. So the power of hypnosis is bringing somebody into that alpha theta state. That's all it is. It's teaching people how to maintain that state through relaxation. And when you're in the alpha theta delta state, that's when you're accessing your subconscious. Do people fall asleep and go into delta? Yes, all the time. It's a natural state, but you're in your subconscious. So when I'm working with people, I'm educating them consciously and logically so they understand what to expect. My goal for people, Eric, is to build tremendous rapport at a subconscious level and at a conscious level. Most people's biggest challenge in business and being an entrepreneur is they want it, they desire it, they know they can do it, but at a subconscious level, they have limiting stops and blocks that prevent them from the behaviors and the actions of a highly successful person. And it's because they don't believe and hold and perceive themselves to be that. They believe it about other people around them, but their own beliefs limit them from achieving that kind of success. So they do go to seminars. They're on this treadmill. They work hard. They do it. At the end of the year, they're like, crap, you know, my W-2 looks just the same, or it looks worse, or whatever.
Right.
They repeat the same habitual feelings and thoughts over and over and over and over, expecting different results. So most people are thinking, oh, if I win the lottery or if I get this big deal, then I'll feel good. I teach people how to go into their subconscious through hypnotherapy to feel phenomenal, to perceive themselves as the incredible person that they already are, to enrich themselves, so then the opportunities align with how they feel. It's totally opposite of what most people teach.
Well, Cappy, there's so much of this, negative and self-talk, this bad stuff in our subconscious mind. I recognize that it does take time.
Yes.
But what are the setbacks? Say a person has listened to the CD and they're starting to think differently, behave differently, and where's the risk? How do the setbacks come into play? And all that they've done. It's kind of like you've been doing great on the diet, right?
Right.
And then somebody puts a pecan pie in front of you, right? And you just fall over, dive into it.
Right. No, that is a great question. It's a fabulous question. So here's the deal. There's no magic wand in life, right? And are you going to, I'm a human being human just like everybody else. I've been doing this work for almost 20 years. Mm-hmm. Do I go into a place and space sometimes where, I was challenged financially a few years ago just like everybody else. I was out coaching realtors. It was 100% of my business. Guess what the first thing realtors stopped doing? They stopped coaching and paying for programs.
Right.
I had 5 full-time employees. I had to let everybody go. It definitely impacted me. Mm-hmm. So do we all get challenged and face obstacles? Absolutely. But it's what we do inside of that, right? I couldn't change the circumstance or the situation, but I did change my internal experience of what was happening and completely reinvented myself, like a lot of people have, right? So it's something that, we can all tell our stories, we can all woo and hoo, and, but when a circumstance comes up now, what happens, Eric, is if a person's going through this process, it doesn't have them around the neck anymore. So I might experience something, and now it might be for a few hours versus a few weeks.
Yeah, that goes back to living at the cause of your life as opposed to the
That's exactly right.
The circumstance.
And you need to feel it. When things happen and certain things, occur in our lives that are very difficult and are very challenging. We have family loss. We have death. We have money loss. We, go through divorces. Life can present, it's not like I'm numb to it. So you experience it, but it doesn't take me off a course for a year or 2 years or what have you because of the past. The past is what's made me who I am. It's what's made us all who we are. All I have is today. All that stuff is just knowledge and information to make me better today. I don't look in the rearview mirror in life. I look at the windshield. I look at everything coming in front of me. I don't focus on the past. And I think a lot of people in business are like, oh, how it was. Well, guess what? How it was is gone. You have ample opportunity in front of you. You have tremendous, tremendous value inside of you. It's accessing that wealth, that knowledge, and stepping into today and perceiving yourself differently and becoming as successful as you can be for who you are, whatever that means to you.
Wow. What a great word, Cappy. And on that, we're going to open up the lines for questions. And while we're waiting for questions, we'll deal with the last 2 bullets. I could talk to you all day. Operator, let's open up the lines.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question at this time, please press the star key then the 1 key on your touch-tone telephone. If your question has been answered and you want to remove yourself from the queue, please press the pound key. Once again, if you have a question, please press the star key then the 1 key on your touch-tone telephone. We'll pause for a moment.
So just let me know if we have a question. So, Cappy, grow your business with ease. I think I know how to do it now. But what are some particular things that you are referring to in this statement here, grow your business with ease?
Thank you for asking that, Eric. Well, I think a lot of people think that it is a struggle and it's got to be hard and you got to work hard for money. A lot of people hear that. And I think that I have found, and all the clients that I've worked with have found, that as you start to change internally, circumstances start to align with you. Almost, I have people call me all the time and go, you're not going to believe it, and I crack up because I hear it all the time. Because here's the deal. Behind every single business situation, financial situation, whatever. There lies a set of our core beliefs and thoughts and emotions, right? And a person's subconscious belief draw to themselves whomever and whatever they need to give them that expression to their internal condition. I don't know if everybody got that, but my point in that is, how do you do it with ease? Is you start to shift within, and then all of a sudden, like this guy, Ryan, that got up and spoke, he goes, Cappy, it's easier than I ever imagined. Well, he imagined it had to be difficult before. So when I say with ease, when you start to shift your internal perception of how business can be done, how money can be made, how it's an energy, it flows to you and through you. That's all money is. Right. It's an exchange. And when you open that flow and you start to feel differently about it, when you start to be open to receive, you start to be a channel for success, it comes a lot easier.
Wow. I love the phrase or the statement that money is an exchange of energy. And so then we really need to work on, the energy and the motion that we bring to the table, that we bring to each day,
yes.
So that we can be open to receive money, and that we can have a less stressful day as we engage in working for money.
Yeah, exactly. And that's really where the ease comes in, Eric, because so many people are just focused outwardly, and they don't take the time. They don't take the time to understand their emotions in action, their energy behind it, their thoughts. And that's really what I teach people. And, again, through my programs and through my products, they're able to access themselves at a much deeper level that's not in the head. I tell people it's not about a hard sell. It's about a heart sell. And when you go deeper within yourself and you start to work on yourself, your business increases. People want to buy from you. They want to work with you. They're attracted to you. Transactions go easier. It's like things just work out differently.
Wow. Yeah, so people can sense the stress that's in your life. They can sense when you're not at peace, or you're stressed out over your business, or you absolutely need that sale. They can sense all that, right? So it goes back to repelling someone.
Yes, it really does. It definitely does. So is there any questions for anybody? Does anybody have any questions that I've come into? Or?
Yes, we have a question from Lena Martinez. Your line is open.
Oh, thank you. My question is, wait a minute, I typed it up somewhere. How do you stop your mind to think that way and sabotaging it? And what exactly do you say, and how do you change that core belief? Is it because just thinking to change, it doesn't come like a natural?
No, you're absolutely right. It definitely doesn't. Like I said earlier, it really is something that you need to practice. It's something that you need to sit quietly with and, go into your body and get out of your head and let yourself feel for a moment, what is that, my biggest fear? What do I commonly complain about when it comes to money? How do I feel when I don't have money? And identify that feeling for yourself. If it's fear, if it's unworthy, is it undeserving? Once you start to identify what your core belief is, then and only then can you start to work with it. But most people are consciously and logically trying to work harder to make that feeling go away, and the feeling doesn't dissolve itself. So it's kind of like a crying baby. If it just sits and cries and cries and cries and cries and nobody pays attention to it, it doesn't stop. Our emotions are very similar, and once we start to pay attention to it and we stop running like a crazy person and we start to focus on it for a few minutes, that energy does start to dissolve itself. So actually just getting present to it and spending a few minutes a day with yourself, it will start to resolve itself.
When you say spending a few minutes with your day, with yourself,
closing your eyes, putting on some nice music, sitting with yourself in silence. Just sit with yourself. I always tell people, that's what I'm saying, go to my website and you can get the free 10-minute sample session because I do it all for you. But that is a mental process that you'll be able to close your eyes to. I start talking about money. I start, it'll work you through it. And again, I've been doing this for 17 years, so it's not something I can teach somebody in an hour.
Right.
And